Welcome to Regionalization, Better Together. The leadership of these 4 districts has been working very hard for the last few years to come together to form our region, the Central East region. In this video, we'll cover why we're doing all this, what we've already done, and what's left to be done. Why should we regionalize? In the words of Mark Morrison Reed, UU minister, alone our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed. There are many reasons, but the 3 big ones are: first, it will allow for improved services to congregations. Since the beginning, this has been the Central East Region Transition Team's guidepost. If we're struggling with an idea or proposal, we always ask if it will improve services to our congregations. If it doesn't, we scrap the idea. Second, we've gotten very good at being independent, and we've lost sight of how beneficial it is to have congregations in touch with each other, to hear their desires, their problems, their needs, and then to have sister congregations offer their help. We're concerned that if we dissolve our districts in favor of the larger region, some congregational connections may be lost. So that's why we are placing greater emphasis on congregational clusters and partnerships. Geographical clusters will be expanded and strengthened. New affinity clusters will be supported that share common aspects of their congregations or their ministries. So if a few congregations want to come together on, say, social justice or Black Lives Matter or LGBT issues, that can happen. Third, our 7th principle, the respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, is guiding our move toward regionalization. We're removing non-essential layers of governance and emphasizing working together as teams, church staff and national staff, encouraging sister congregations to collaborate more, to be in better relationship with each other. We believe this will strengthen Unitarian Universalism and require work to maintain these relationships. Our proposal to move to a region will require dramatic change, to move the locus of governance from the districts to the UUA, with no governance at the regional level. We are following the lead of the Southern region, which is already doing this. Our goal is to shift the time and energy of so many volunteers from working on governance issues to the ministries of their choosing. We have 2 new, more direct ways for each of your congregations to have two-way communication with UUA, which we will discuss shortly. There are 5 UUA regions in the USA: Central East, Mid-America, New England, Pacific Western, and South. In 1961, when our 2 denominations merged, the plan was to have regional service centers staffed by the UUA. Districts were formed primarily to foster face-to-face connections. The regions were not formed at the time because of financial difficulties. The countrywide move to regionalize will realize what was first envisioned at the time of our merger. There are many programs that have been taking place in recent years with good success, and we are going to keep them. For example, the Smart Church workshops are tremendously helpful by encouraging the use of systems thinking to solve problems. Regarding youth services, district-based YACs and DISC have and will continue, allowing youth to benefit and enjoy opportunities to share ideas and best practices. For example, OMD's YAC implemented a new structure with inspiration from the other districts. Each district has made safety improvements learned from the other districts' experiences. The 3rd annual Regional Youth Con in October was primarily planned by youth by phone conference and the internet, because they love meeting more youth and expanding their community. Youth Leadership Schools, or Goldmine, expanded from the Metro New York District to include the Ohio Meadville and St. Lawrence districts. We're adding a 3rd school for 2016 in Southern Joseph Priestley District. Cross-training in neighboring districts is happening as trainers for youth and adult advisor trainings have been running programs in neighboring districts to cross-pollinate ideas. Multi-district programming and staff sharing among districts started many years ago and has continued to grow over time. A primary goal of the staff is facilitating congregational clustering to strengthen our interdependence and linkages, to foster intercongregational collaboration for more effective service delivery. Many components of regionalization have already been implemented. The most significant is a change in our staff organization. The staff has implemented a primary contact model for direct and more responsive communication with our congregations. The staff works as a team within the region with different strengths and backgrounds. We have a financial manager, 2 logistics managers, and a communications manager, as well as program managers in stewardship, leadership development, faith formation, governance, conflict transformation, youth, young adult, multi-site partnerships, social justice, ministerial transitions, right relations and safe congregations, multiculturalism, intercultural competency, and more. All former district and regional staff are now UUA employees with clear reporting relationships. Our staff used to have 2 bosses, the district boards and the UUA. In most cases this was fine, but there were too many situations where the staff were caught in the middle, with boards directing them in one direction and the UUA in another. Now our staff has one boss, and the entire national field staff are working together as a team with common goals and priorities. A unified staff allows for a broader and richer set of staff portfolios, as our recent hires have demonstrated. We've increased services at no additional cost. 2 departing staff were replaced by 2.5 people with a greater opportunity to specialize without any budget increases. Access to staff is now equitable and straightforward, allowing easier connections to the UUA's resources. We have a relationship with the UUA through our Congregational Life Advisory Council and Wisdom Seekers. New regional staff were interviewed by members of all 4 districts in the hiring process. Removing the district governing body gets each congregation closer to the UUA. You'll have a more direct way to communicate with the UUA in this new model. And now we'll have 2 ways to directly connect with the UUA and express our views: the Congregational Life Advisory Council and Wisdom Seekers. The Congregational Life Advisory Council is the liaison between our congregations and congregational life at the UUA. It's designed for the UUA, through our regional lead and the director of congregational life, to listen to our congregational needs and desires and for our congregations to hear what's happening at our UUA. They will ask congregations and other communities important questions about their experiences and needs. Their goal is to provide communication between our congregations and the UUA. They'll work with the Director of Congregational Life and the Central East Region staff lead to think through the feedback they receive and prepare it to be used by our regional staff for planning the coming season. Each fall, they'll conduct in-depth interviews with a portion of folks in the Central East region. Then each spring, they'll conduct a wider survey so that we can hear from more folks. We hope you'll join them in this new endeavor to deepen our relationships and grow our faith tradition together. Wisdom Seekers is a new way to gather people interested in the issues of today. Topics will come from what our UUA Board, Congregational Life Advisory Council, and our congregations identified. People from the region will be invited to participate with the UUA Board of Trustees. This will give us direct communication with them. This is Congregations and Beyond in action, to bring the public in to participate in major social and spiritual issues. What a great way to open our UU doors to those who identify as being nones, people who identify as being spiritual but with no religious affiliation. A covenantal discernment process will allow everyone to participate in a loving, respectful manner. This will create a leadership path in the absence of a regional governing body. Leaders will come from within our congregations in the UUA to provide a mechanism to share big-picture thinking, options for change, goal setting, and concerns. Inviting the public creates a wonderful growth opportunity for Unitarian Universalism by attracting people who identify as having an affinity with Unitarian Universalism, but who are not members of our congregations. This is a way to promote our efforts to support beyond our congregation's walls. This is a proactive effort to offer a linkage between our congregations in the UUA and to clearly identify a group of Surge leaders available when the UUA Board of Trustees seeks to connect with our Surge congregations. This helps Surge leaders focus their time and energy on the ministry of their calling. It utilizes the shared ministry of leaders and staff to plan these meetings. Fair share is likely to be based on a common set of congregational expenses rather than the membership headcount. Many congregations have struggled to fine-tune their membership count to adjust their fair share amount. This is a giant step toward a more fair mechanism. There will be one ask for congregational contributions to the region and the UUA. It also means congregational checks go to only one place. You wouldn't believe how many congregations have been sending checks to the wrong place. The new rate has not yet been established, but there's no doubt that some congregations will be asked to pay about the same, some will be less, and some will be more. It's not yet set in stone, but we are hopeful our region will be the next to implement this new system, which is likely to be in 2017. The Southern region has been a beta tester for this program during the last 2 years. The program is called GIFT. It had a rocky start, but adjustments were made and it appears the outcome was good. Every congregation involved was interviewed. At the conclusion, the most impressive result was that the vast majority of congregations, even those that were asked to contribute more, agreed that this new system was more fair than the previous use of membership headcount to set the rate congregations were expected to pay. Months of drafting and negotiating led to the creation of this Memorandum of Understanding between our 4 districts and the UUA's Leadership Council, the top leaders of the UUA. Governance will occur at the congregational and associational levels, with no regional governing board. District assets will move to the UUA's Common Endowment Fund with restrictions on their use to the region, so our assets don't go into a general account. Safeguards are in place to protect our staff and future operating funds, including an acknowledgement that congregational giving has a significant impact on these allocations. Current district leadership will be meeting with stakeholders to explain regionalization. The wisdom seekers will be developed in early 2016. The delegates will vote to dissolve their current district governance at district assemblies in 2016. Leadership of the districts will need to take the legal and logistical actions necessary to enact this vote by October of 2016. Here are the important dates on the regionalization timeline. Please note the district assembly dates for your district. If you would like to learn more about regionalization, please visit the regionalization section of the SERG website. You can also read reflections of district board members on the Surging Forward blog. If you have questions about regionalization, please contact your district leadership. Thank you.